So my name is JJ, been working in this space, digital marketing or growth marketing for around 15 years now. Started with computer generated studies, got hired by the marketing store worldwide to work on McDonald's, Nestle, Carlsberg, and other global brands because they were moving into innovative marketing space like VR, digital. So that was even 10 years ago. So after that, I went into a lot of marketing automations. I delivered a bunch of marketing automations for various businesses, various case studies, and we by now helped hundreds of brands to achieve their growth. So now is really just sharing back what works that you can recreate it and use it really. So I think a few more people might run late, but we will start the topics and it's really still just a warm up. And like I said before, we keep these groups a bit smaller so you have a chance to ask a question in Zoom chat. If you have a question, just write it in there. I'll keep an eye out. And as we go along, we'll also try to answer some of the questions. You can also reach out after the workshop. The first thing to start before going into organic really is just to ask yourself a question like, how do your customers tend to buy? When thinking about their buyer journey, we'll uncover something quite important because what we're seeing is that there's really physical first and digital first channels. Do they call someone to find out about things or what is their process of buying? If we look at digital first, do they research before buying or deciding? And consider these changing buying journey patterns since COVID. It has moved more than ever into more digital first, online first buyer journeys. How does your customer tend to buy? These changing buying patterns, do they research before deciding? Is it digital first? Are like great starting points to uncover. And what I mean, like, so obviously today we're focusing more on the digital first side. So we will dive into it a little bit more, starting with looking at how to sell to your customers. The answer is usually simple. Sell them how they buy. For example, if I am buying a piece of software, I might want to understand which one I should choose and Google some information on YouTube, video content on Reddit or answers, Q&A. Quora is another one, of course. But increasingly what we're seeing is Perplexity, ChatGPT, then these new search engines are kind of the primary point of approach, certainly as they are fastest adopted products on planet currently. So we're really moving into that prompted research space. And the good news here is Perplexity and ChatGPT are exactly the same as Google when it comes to how they work. So yes, identify how your customers tend to buy and then sell them how they buy in those channels that they tend to go to would be like a primer for this conversation. If we look at why organic content should be or is the foundation that we see when we analyze hundreds of brands, typically we see that there's some sort of prominence on direct sales channel, followed most 9 out of 10 times by leading brands organic search channels. It could be content that's discovered in Google, now ChatGPT, and also Perplexity. And then there's paid search and then social channels. If we look at social channels, the leading brands are doing exactly what we would say you should do. They actually go into the channels where people are searching for solutions as opposed to, so that would be Reddit, YouTube, those will usually take first two places. And surprisingly, LinkedIn is perpetually in the place number 3 or 4 because LinkedIn is a space where everyone go to sell and not a lot of people go to buy. So that's just one thing to note. When you think about your customers, where they might go, there's social channels, organic channels, push channels, and so on to consider. And the advice from ex-Netflix head of growth marketer was that organic search should be foundational to any growth marketing strategy. In his words, Jake Mason said, it's like free marketing. You can scale it, you can experiment with it. It has long-term growth value and so on. We certainly see that, especially with the joining of new search engines such as Perplexity and ChatGPT, the search markets have increased. For example, Google is containing 90% of all internet searches. With the rise of ChatGPT and Perplexity joining, the search market increased. Some of it will be taken off of Google's market share. If there's any questions so far, please feel free to share in the chat. If one person has a question, it's likely the same question that everyone else has. Be the voice for the community. Content should be the foundation in any growth marketing strategy because it's free marketing, can scale well. and the increase of new search markets means that your effort targets all 6, 7 channels where the customers might be searching. Google, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Claude would be all the channels where content will surfaces organically. But yes, so going into the trends, like what are the new trends for 2025, certainly for all things SEO, search engine optimization. One of the key trends is the one I've just mentioned, that there are these new AI search engines, and the way they work is mostly just like Google does. For example, ChatGPT and Perplexity are based on Bing's search algorithm, which means that if you surface for Bing search algorithm, you will also automatically start to surface in Perplexity. The good news is that it's much easier to rank with because they are not as occupied as Google. Google has 90% of all internet searches. With the advent of new search engines in 2025, I will see ChatGPT and Perplexity completely change how they look. So they will have all kinds of backlinks, all kinds of images of the businesses. They will have all kinds of backlinks and maps. So it will start to feel like an AI powered search engine, like Google used to be, but better. But the good news for businesses is that you can appear there as well. One big trend that a lot of experts are witnessing is that deep content is gonna perform well in those new channels because people tend to search for how do I do this, or why should I do this, how to achieve X or this versus that. So long tail SEO and deep content, all of these new engines will be able to handle long form content. And if you just focus on creating the best content you possibly can, you will start to be pushed out by algorithms to those various channels. Algorithms do the choosing. So what that means is you kind of have to publish, instead of one good creative, you have to publish 100 creatives, get the confirmation from algorithms that, oh, we like these 10 pieces and we're going to push these to ChatGPT, we're going to push these to Bing, these to Google, and then polish and refine those 10 out of 100 experimental creatives. This is true for PPC channels as well. A lot of the agencies we are in connection all say that it doesn't work anymore to have one good creative because algorithms might struggle to push it out or identify it. No one sees it, so it dies unseen. In today's world, experiment with the volume, put out 100 creatives, allow the algorithms to choose 10, rapidly improve those 10, and then you'll see quite fast growth based on highest performing content because the algorithms are doing the choosing, not just humans anymore. That's the sad news of the AI era. There will be some generative AI penalties. So if you generate your images, you generate your copy, you generate everything, and it's almost 100% completely AI generated, Google search engines will be penalizing that. There's a very good technical reason why. I don't want to go into the detail unless someone asks in the chat why. Basically, purely generative AI content is going to be recognized. It's recognized quite easily already. Just be aware that generative AI penalties are coming and they're going to impact domain ranking, scoring, and algorithmic performance. On the other hand, human-centric content, data, reviews, your rich inventory assets will increase in value because they're real human generated data. They're a real piece of high value data not seen before. So finding ways how to keep that human generated angle is going to grow in value. And like I said, there's a very good technical reason why search engines decided to not rank generative AI content. It's called synthetic data. They tend to avoid synthetic data. But yeah, we can dive deeper later, I guess. Yeah. Welcome for those who are joining. And then, we're going to move into the second part, how to implement successful organic campaigns at scale in 2025 with these changes in mind, with evidence, proven track evidence. So we're going to jump into how to do it for yourself. If there's any questions, please message in the chat. I tend to speak fast, so I don't want to miss anything you might be curious about. When it comes to implementing your own search organic growth, free growth marketing campaign, and with knowing that search algorithms will be deciding a bit more, and they are deciding that the step one is to target the most search topics. And for this, you could use a free tool that I'm showing here. It's in a / keyword generator. If you enter a topic in a country and ask to find keywords, it surfaces most searched keywords and topics, questions that are not covered by anyone. They're kind of like a white space. So you can identify the highest volume topics, lowest competition that are not covered so that you can capitalize on those searches and redirect from those searches into your domain. So that would be step number one, target the most searched topics using data-driven tools like keyword generator by Ahrefs. Step number two is to create the best possible content you can, like a very rich brochure. It's not technically blog. It's like a rich brochure, like packed with data, with suggestions, with quizzes, lead magnets. So the way it looks like is, let's say there's a topic like what to consider for insurance operations, finance operations, that is searched 130,000 times per month. You want to recreate the slug, best insurance, finance operations, and tailor that brochure as much as possible to that very fine-grained topic with not just articles and hero image, but also all kinds of other components like quizzes, lead magnets, bull guides, products that are great for this topic. So creating really rich brochures to cover the topic. And then it's really about repeating this process from 100 to 1,000 queries or topics so that these rich templates start to perform like a proactive salesman that doesn't eat, doesn't sleep, is ready online whenever someone searches. And typically what happens, like each template then drives certain qualified visitors traffic. So you get one page, it gets 27,000 visits, another page gets 7,000 visits. And if you do it 100 to 1,000 times, you quickly compound into a high volume of qualified visitors, clicks, and qualified leads. So it works in this staggered approach. Targeted content, qualified visitors, qualified clicks, and then qualified leads, creating effectively a qualified lead stream, live lead stream. And the last step in this process would be to make sure that every single page has some kind of relevant email collector. Those could be like download this ebook, complete this quiz to figure out your profile, or please leave your email high value lead magnets in exchange for email. And it has to be high value enough for them to want to leave their email in exchange. And of course, that email becomes qualified interested leads you can nurture with email sequences or approach. So that would be the fourth step. The last step, like I mentioned, would happen this whole process of you've identified highly searched topics. You've created rich brochures that are not just a blog. They're packed with products, lead magnets, reviews. They're super packed, very rich. And algorithms love that. They love rich data, rich assets, and classify these as commerce pages. If they classify you as a blog, they hate. And if that blog is AI generated, you're going to get penalties. So stay away from blog, stay away from generative AI, lean into rich brochure, rich digital brochure packed with juicy data, and you'll be good in front of algorithms and also humans, because these algorithms were developed in relationship to what performs best with clicks, longer attention span, longer to stay on page. If you do that and target a whole bunch of those topics, keywords, then you'll see a live stream of qualified inbound leads. So someone came from one page, another person came from another topic. All of the topics are relevant to you, of course, but you're seeing this very segmented inbound stream that you can funnel later down the line as you see fits, like low value leads, medium value, high value leads. And you created this inbound lead engine that results in pure conversion once it really gets going directly from searches. One thing to note on inbound engine growth, comparing it to ads, oftentimes we see ads perform instantly. So if you turn it on tomorrow, spending a bit of budget, you'll receive leads immediately. With organic search engines, they take a little while to ramp up because of that staggered qualified target, traffic, clicks, leads approach. But what we see in a lot of cases that organic quite quickly outperforms ads. So this is the ad spend, this is the ads generated traffic, and this is the light blue, yellow is organic content, and dark orange is traffic. So the traffic from organic content and clicks completely outperform where the ads are. The clicks and traffic from ads is really low and quite unsustainable. So it's a long-term investment that does drive growth. And Google loves to warm up new content for weeks and months sometimes. But once that content is aged a bit and performed a bit of clicks and traffic, they are confident to boost it and get it in all those channels as they figure out which channel to push out. But yeah, if there's any questions so far as part of this workshop, we'd be happy to unpack the insights for your problem or challenge. We could take a look at what your search market is looking like, what are those topics, and maybe what are your competitors doing. So if you scan this QR code, you would see a little form that asks very simple questions, which is which 10 topics would you like to be highly discoverable for? And who are your 5 competitor websites? And we can sort of tailor some insights. If you want a little bit more tailored insights as part of this workshop, we do provide insights just to kind of make it more clear, as this workshop is a bit dense with data. We can contextualize it a bit more to what does it mean in the challenge or problem you're solving. And yeah, I guess would be curious if there's any questions.